In this video, we will build a modern, interactive 3D isometric typography effect, where clean text physically extrudes with layered lighting and lifts dynamically on interaction, using nothing but pure HTML and CSS. Let's build a highly sought-after 3D text extrusion effect. Jump into the body tag. First, I'm going to open up our 3D staging area by typing out a div with the class Isometric Stage. This forms our primary perspective container framework. Inside this stage layout, I'll build our display typography by writing an h1 tag with the class selector isometric-text. Inside the header, I am going to type the visible text string to populate our physical 3D typography geometry. Now that our structural elements are ready, let's back up inside our style tags and add the CSS. I add basic style to the body. Next, let's target our 3D perspective box by typing out the class selector.isometric-stage. Inside, I'm going to write text align center to align our typography geometry inside its bounds. Now, here is the perspective setup trick. I am going to write transform rotateX 15 degrees, rotateY -20 degrees, skewY 5 degrees. This rotates the entire text block in 3D space to lock in our isometric viewing angle. To preserve our 3D spatial depth across sub-elements, I'll write transform style preserve 3D and close that bracket. Now, let's configure the physical 3D extrusion engine by targeting the selector.isometric text. Inside, I'll write font size 84 pixels and font weight 900 to make the characters thick enough to cast realistic depth layers. I'll add text transform uppercase for solid capitalization blocks. Set letter spacing 4 pixels to space out character boundaries. Set margin 0 and right line height 1 to ensure crisp vertical grids. To paint the front face of our text, I'm going to add color #3 8BDF8 for a bright, vibrant sky blue accent tone. Now here is the secret 3D depth technique. We write our master text shadow rule. We start by stepping down pixel by pixel. 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 0 pixels, #0284C7. 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 0 pixels, #0284C7. Shifting to darker tones as we go deep into the shadow, like 3 pixels and 4 pixels with #0369A1, 5 pixels and 6 pixels with #075985, 7 pixels and 8 pixels with #OC4A6E, and locking in the deepest base layers at 9 pixels and 10 pixels with #082F49. Directly following our depth shadow steps, we add soft ambient floor shadows, 12 pixels, 12 pixels, 20 pixels, RGBA 0000.7, and 18 pixels, 18 pixels, 30 pixels, RGBA 0000.4, to ground our 3D block on the floor plane. To make the interaction silky smooth, I'll write transition transform 0.3 seconds cubic Bezier, 0.2, 0.8, 0.2, 1. Text shadow 0.3 seconds ease set cursor pointer and close that bracket. Finally, let's activate the elevation lift interaction by targeting .isometric-stage:hover.isometric-text. Inside this final block, I'm going to write transform translate y -8 pixels to lift the typography upward when hovered. To complete the floating illusion, we extend our text shadow array with extra base depth layers at 12 pixels and 14 pixels using #031C2E and push our soft floor shadows further out to 20 pixels and 30 pixels to reflect the physical elevation lift, and close our remaining curly braces. As we hit save, our code executes cleanly. Our 3D isometric typography sits perfectly on our dark workspace layout. At rest, the layered blue shadow steps give our text immediate physical weight and depth. But look at what happens the exact millisecond our cursor enters the stage bounding box. The text smoothly elevates off the floor plane, deepening its extruded shadow stack and receding its ground shadow in real time, producing a premium 3D interaction powered entirely by pure CSS hardware acceleration. Thanks for watching. If you found this real-time build helpful, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. See you next time.